Alright guys, so, well, okay, immediately you're automatically scared at looking at this integral because it looks scary as hell, but actually it's not that bad. I'll show you why in a second. So for this one, we're dealing with 10 times the sine of 2x times cosine of 2x times the square root of cosine squared of 2x minus 5. That's the integral that we'll be working with. And for this one, we're going to use u sub. Now, for this one, it looks very intimidating to do, but it's actually really easy because just we basically do the same process over and over again. You pick your u, you find your du, you basically plug it in and try to see if something cancels out. That's the idea. Now, like I said, usually when we pick u, we want to pick u so that because u is like in the inside of something else. So in this case, the cosine squared of 2x minus 5, that's inside this square root. So it's because it's inside of something, that's going to be a very good candidate for picking u. So we're going to pick that to be our u. So our u is going to be cosine squared of 2x minus 5. Now that we picked u, now let's find the derivative of that. So our du is going to be, now be careful with this because we're actually going to use the chain rule 2 times. First of all, let me just write it out. So this cosine squared, what it actually means is this. It basically means cosine of 2x squared. Oh, that's it too. Squared. That's basically what that actually means. So the first thing for chain rule is actually to use the generalized power rule to bring down the 2 and then take the derivative of the inside. So the first thing we're going to write down is basically the derivative of kind of like the outside part. The outside part in this case is the exponent 2, so we bring down the 2. So it's going to be 2 times cosine of 2x, and then we subtract 1 from the exponent, so obviously it's just cosine of 2x, but you're not done because now what you have to do is you have to take you have to multiply that times the derivative of the inside of the inside function. In this case, the inside function is cosine of 2x, but cosine of 2x also requires another chain rule. So the outside function in this case, the cosine of 2x is the cosine, right? So the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So now this is going to be times negative sine of 2x times the derivative of the inside function. The inside function now is 2x. The derivative of 2x, that's just 2. And then of course after we take the derivative, we put a dx at the end. So let me just make this look a lot nicer. So this is going to be du equals, so this is going to be negative, right, because of the negative sign. We have 2 times 2, that's going to be 4. And we have a sine of 2x and a cosine of 2x. dx. And last but not least, what we want to do is that we want to basically solve for dx. So we have dx all by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by that. So negative 4 sine of 2x, cosine of 2x. Divide that by the same thing, right? So this cancels out. So now dx equals du over the negative 4 sine of 2x times the cosine of 2x. So we have this and we have this. We're going to use both of these facts in order to help us take the integral of this using the u sub method. So here we go. So we're going to rewrite our integral. We're not going to change anything else except the part that we picked for our u. So the u in this case was cosine squared of 2x minus 5. So we're going to rewrite this as u, right? Because we said u equals that, okay? Everything else stays the same. So it's going to be 10 times the sine of 2x times the cosine of 2x times the square root of, instead of writing cosine squared of 2x minus 5, we're going to write that as u because that's what u equals to. So it's going to be u, and instead of writing dx, we're going to write du over negative 4 sine of 2x cosine of 2x. So it's going to be du over negative 4 sine of 2x times the cosine of 2x. And now at this point, something's supposed to cancel out. And sure enough, that's what happens, right? You have a sine of 2x on the top, sine of 2x on the bottom, so those cancel out. You have a cosine of 2x on the top, you have a cosine of 2x on the bottom, those cancel out as well. And then you have a 10 divided by a negative 4. That's a constant multiple, you don't have to worry about that. So that's going to be negative, it's a negative number, so negative 10 over 4 times the integral of, we'll simplify that later, so don't worry about that for now. And then what we're left with is just the square root of u. Square root of u du. Alright, so I'm going to do 2 steps here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to simplify this fraction, that's negative 5 over 2. So that's negative 5 over 2. And I'm going to rewrite that square root as u to the first, to the 1/2 power. U to the 1/2 power du. Now, taking the integral of u to the 1/2 power, that's super easy. We know how to do that. Just use the power rule, the reverse power rule for that one. So we add 1 to the exponent. So this is going to be negative 5 over 2 times, we add 1 to 1/2, so that's going to be 3/2. So it's going to be u to the 3/2 power divided by the new exponent. The new exponent is 3/2, so we're going to divide it by 3 over 2. And then of course you put plus c, but of course we can simplify this, right? We can make it look a lot nicer. So you have that negative 5 over 2 times, you can just multiply by the reciprocal of that fraction, which will be 2 over 3. And then you have that u to the 3/2 power like hanging out there. And then you simplify, right? So these 2's cancel out. So now you're left with negative 5 over 3. And then you're left with u raised to the 3/2 power plus c. But that's not the final answer. The final answer is that you want it to be rewritten not in terms of u, but in terms of x. Well, what is u equal to? Well, u equals cosine squared of 2x minus 5. So the last step here, after you integrate this, is you basically just plug in whatever u equal to. So since u equals cosine squared of 2x minus 5, we'll just plug that in and we're good to go. So it's negative 5 over 3 times cosine squared of 2x minus 5 raised to the 3/2 power plus c. And lo and behold, that is our final answer using u sub, and we're good to go.